Oh man, there it is. All right, let's get you out of the weeds and let's get you home and let's get started. Hey there, big fella. That's the guard dog out here right there. Love the front end on these things with the highway headlights. Just looks so cool. All right, a little cold start on the GMC. Boop. One pump, set the fast idle with the fuel pump prime. Boom. Well, she's all loaded up and off to the storage unit. Hopefully she'll find a new home here soon, and somebody else can enjoy it. I know I've enjoyed putting all the time and effort into it, so it's time for somebody else to go drive it. All right, let's see if we can do this in the dark. Moment of truth. If I can get the wrench, there we go. Okay. Oh, they moved. Yeah. Oh man. I'm on brake bolt. Where are you? Man, these fan blades are sharp. I can just see my knuckles going through one. You guys are gonna need Dramamine to watch this. Yeah. Okay. Man, I think that's a success. Call that a win for tonight, and we will come back and get at it tomorrow for real and see if we can get this thing to run and hopefully get it to pull itself up into the garage, and we can go from there. So see you guys tomorrow. This car came from Houston. Got it on Marketplace. There was some crappy photos. The thing was on some 20s that didn't belong on it, and with like rubber band tires. I mean, the thing would hardly roll because the tires were so small on it. So these are the original wheels. The owners still had them. They put the 20s on it to get it to roll. These were in rough shape. I had to do a lot of cleanup on those, painted them, and went ahead and got new tires put on them, just so I could get the thing on and off the trailer from my storage, because this thing would not hardly roll. But now it rolls good. Check out these hubcaps. Look how clean these things are. So this car's got 23,000 miles on the odometer, and there's several reasons after looking it over I believe that to be accurate, and we'll kind of take a look at that. Go around the other side. You gotta come up with an emblem. We're missing the Ford. I think I've got 3 letters. I think I might have a FOD or an ORD or an RD. I'm not sure. We are missing one hubcap. Well, when I bought the car, we're missing one. I snagged one off eBay already, so got that cleaned up and inside, so we'll get that put on. I mean, beautiful. Yeah, let's take a look inside this thing. I mean, it's pretty clean. Pretty clean. Look at the seat. Look at the interior. I mean, carpet's nice. Got the chrome interior, got the wood grain. I don't think there's anything in it. No, nothing in there but no mouse nest. We got our SPID label there. What about in the SIGs here? We got anything? Man, I think she might have been a non-smoker. I'll take it. Check out these pedals. You see anything major here? I don't. I mean, a little bit of wear on the pedal edge. Man, they're nice. That's our biggest problem under here is the kick panel has just disintegrated and fallen apart, but that's not a big deal. I already picked one of those up on eBay. Found an NOS one. It's blue, so you know, I think I got a little John Deere green or something in there on the shelf. I'll dig out. I think I can paint this thing if I can't find an SEM color that matches. So yeah, but look at these seats. We'll walk around, take a look here in the back. I mean, look at this trim. I did buy this car without keys, so I did have to pull the back seat out and climb through the back to get the trunk unlocked, which is why the seat is out of it like this. But as you can see, I mean, look at these. The wear is like next to none. Headliner is like super nice. I mean, I don't know if you can see it in this lighting, but that headliner is, I mean, perfect. Just perfect. The seat belts are nice. Yeah, just a great car. Let's go check the driver's side here. See what we got. So yeah, there you go. I mean, a little dirty, we'll clean that up, but man, I mean, just super nice. The steering wheel doesn't really have any, you know, wear. A little mildew, but no like super major wear. Our dash isn't cracked. Yeah, here you go. Here's your mileage, if you can see that. 23,482. And here's one of the things that I found pretty cool. One of the pieces of documentation. This is the last inspection sticker, and that is not 2000. That is for 1990. And if you can see that, it was inspected on. Let's see. October 26th, 1989. The mileage then looks like 23,449, so 23,449. So, and we're 23,482. So this thing literally has 33 miles put on it since that inspection date in 1989. That's pretty cool. We'll take a look at the back seat on this side too. Again, just super nice, just super clean. That's what drew me to this car. The photos were terrible. It looked terrible sitting there on the wheels, but I dug the color, man. This Ford lime green is a cool color, and this thing I think is going to buff up pretty nice. And I noticed the interior was as clean as it was, which sold me. You know, had a good feeling that, boy, this could be a pretty clean car. And I'll show you some more. This was cool. Once we got keys made for this thing, so I could get the trunk open without having to climb through the back, I discovered this. Look at that. That's all the original spackle paint. Look down on these wheel wells. I mean, there's just dust. There's no rust, no anything. It's got the original mat back here. These floors are just great. So they pulled the jute padding out. The original front floor mat was in it. Original floor mat. I mean, but look at these quarters. This is just nuts for a, whatever this is, 57-year-old car, 55, 57-year-old car. Already had the tires swapped out, you know. Look at that pretty green color though, original color. Hopefully we can get that to come back around, you know, for the most part. But yeah, this rear body panel, we've got solid, just solid. Factory bumper jack still held in place. All the factory jack tools. Yeah, I did have to pull the brake hardware off to get it to roll. I thought it was going to be seized up, but it was not. Lots of life left on these things. Just there was some rust, but these guys, when they moved the car, somehow they knocked a lug stud into the drum, and it was hanging up in the brake hardware, causing the wheel to not turn. That's what it was. Once I got the drum off and looked at it, it was not stuck. It was the wheel stud stuck in there. So I got that, pulled that apart, and it rolls just fine. So I did cheat a little bit there, just to get this thing to roll. So our biggest problem on the outside is going to be the trim. As you can see, this chrome is taking a beating. Sitting in a little one-car garage for all these years in Houston, and the humidity. I mean, there's no telling how many tropical storms this thing has been through. Probably been through Allison and Harvey and Hurricane Ike and a number of other ones. So she's seen her fair share of humidity and mud and muck. I did order the Marty report for the car. This is the original dealership where the car was sold at. Jacoby Pearson in Houston. Used to be downtown. No longer there. Really not much I could find on the internet about it, but that is what's on the Marty report. So that's pretty cool to see that kind of documentation. So yeah, it's just a shame some of this chrome got a little pitted up, but I think some steel wool we'll get that to kind of come back around the best we can and do what we can. Polish up the trim and get her to come back to life. Same on the handles. We can get them to look better, but they're not going to be perfect. May see what I can find online, if I can find some that aren't too expensive. I think these are the same for the Galaxy 500. Same on the trim. We got a little, here and there, but overall, man, look at this trim. The glass is in excellent shape. Even this hardtop. I mean, we're not all rotted out here like you'd expect to see with the vinyl top. Our emblem's clear. These are normally really rough shape. And look at the top. I mean, the top will come back around great. One little minor rip. I don't know if you can see it. There's a couple little. Somebody snagged her here backing it out. But these are all there. We'll just glue those back down. We'll be good to go. I mean, all the stainless trim is in pretty good shape. Oh, windshield's good. Our mirrors have seen better days, but again, we'll see. We'll see what I can come up with on some of this stuff. See how it cleans up. But let's get to probably the roughest part of the car, and that's going to be under the hood. Let's go check that out. All right, there she is. Another one of the selling points of this car, which I wasn't sure until I got there to go see it, but it's a 390, which I know that's not terribly uncommon in these cars. That isn't the base. I think the base was a 302 in these, and then I believe there might have been another one in there, and then you could get a 392V. Check this out. This is a factory 394V. There you go. She's got the Autolite or Motorcraft carburetor on her. Let's see what we can do there. Yeah, that's we got some little bit of rodent damage there, little rat chews on the wire, so those are going to have to be replaced before we can do anything to get this unit to run. As you see, I already cheated last night too. I pulled the spark plugs out of it, looked at the cylinders. Looks really good, but it had a ton of humidity in here. This alternator is pretty grindy, pretty tight. I was able to move it a little bit with some channel locks. It was completely seized. People that had the car cut the belts off of it because they're all seized. But everything seems fine except for maybe, I don't know if you can see this or not, but I don't think you're supposed to be able to put your finger through the thermostat housing like that. So she's got some things that need help. Power steering, cooler, a little bit of a leak there. That's just from me turning the wheel, getting it off the trailer up on the curb. It's already pushing fluid out of what's corroded through here, so we'll have to address that. By address it, that probably will mean just get rid of it, unless I can come across one. But I mean, we're not going to be taking corners like Bo and Luke Duke in this thing. I don't know that we're going to be really sawing on the power steering, so I don't know that we need that. But yeah, a little cruddy under here with the humidity that it sat in, but I think it'll come around. Let's see what we got in here. Can't really see anything in there. Let's grab the light and see what we can see. Okay. You can see that or not? Yeah, it's hard to see, but excuse me. There's a little something down there, but it's pretty far and it doesn't look the best, so we'll have to. These radiators aren't cheap. You just have to hope for the best on this. This might be a stretch to assume this thing's going to work as is. Probably not, but we'll see. AC car. I forgot to mention the whole point of this car. Well, not the whole point, but we bought this car and it's just too cool. It looks like a great road trip car. So our goal is to take this thing on Hot Rod Power Tour this summer. Which is, I don't know, 3,500 miles round trip here from San Antonio up to Indiana, Illinois, Michigan, so on. So we'll see if we can get this thing back to her former glory, and in doing so this summer, we're going to need AC. So I'm going to try to get this AC going again, if at all possible. But yeah, we've got a few things to work on here. Luckily, I opened the old credit card and went a little bonkers on Rock Auto a couple weeks back, and I've got a ton of parts in there for it. So one of them being battery cables. I don't know if you can get a good look at this, but look at that. Yeah, a little crusty, but nothing that I don't think we can't fix. So let's go ahead and see if we can't take this lid off of here. What else we got? Vacuum line. Oh, that's for the heat riser. Okay. I think that's probably supposed to come back. There's our accelerator pump. Does it pump? Kinda-ish. It's not real wild about it, but it kinda does. Choke. Let's lube her up a little bit. See what we can do here. I got a plan for this carburetor. I'll show you in a little bit. But as of right now, let's just see if we can get this thing freed up enough to. Oh, hey, that's already better. Oh yeah, already making progress. Oof, we got some rat turds in there. I'd rather not drop that down the intake if I can avoid it. Not that it probably really matters. We've got a whole fire hazard here anyways, so. Some rodents living their best life in here for a while. Well, let's keep going with the fuel system here. Let's see what we got going on down here. Ooh. Oof. Yeah. Ooh, man, a little crunchy, but dry. Ugh. Varnished. Just full of this crud everywhere. But I'm hopeful it's evaporated and it's dry. Since this car's been off the road so long, it should have been before ethanol fuel, so maybe it didn't mess things up too bad. Let's go underneath, and this thing's got a drain plug on the gas tank, I think. I want to pull that plug and see if it's got any fuel in it. Just curious. I don't think that's a factory divot. Looks like somebody ran over something and boink! A little whammo at the bottom there. I think we probably lost a good half gallon, maybe a gallon there. Yeah, I can see a little buckling. She got bent. She got smoked. Damn it. I just saw something here. It's beginning to look a lot like a pinion seal, possibly. We'll see. Hopefully not. Here we go. If you can't find the right wrench, grab a crescent wrench. It feels a little soft. Okay. Alright, scratch that. New plan. Go get the right tool, come back and do it right. Anybody else ever look at a bolt and are like 99% sure what size it is, but end up going to the toolbox and getting a handful of sockets anyways? And me either. Suspense is killing me. I want to see if there's like seashells and sand and monsters, lizard, I don't know, gas maybe? I don't know what's in here. It's feeling pretty dry. Ooh. 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 I don't know if you see that up in there. She is like plugged with varnish and gunk. Next phase, stab at it with the screwdriver. Oof, man, that smell. This should smell-o-vision. Oh, hey, okay, that's just right there. Oh, man. Oof. Oh, wow. That is like molasses. That's fun. Okay. So definitely not running anything in the tank, which I didn't really plan on doing anyways initially, but just to confirm. The better news is it's empty. I mean, pretty much, right? Let's go ahead and put the plug back in this before the city comes and hauls me off for polluting. Or the state, or whoever. I guess it wouldn't be the state. I live in Texas, I don't really care. But the city, maybe. Oh, while we're under here, having a good time. Hey, look at these quarters. I mean, did you see that? No rust, nothing. A little bit of dust, dirt. Look at this stuff. I mean, you just don't see every day a 57-year-old car that's that rust-free under here. I mean, the frame looks like a frame. She's got surface rust, but that's no big deal. Anyways, let's get back up top and see what we can do to get this thing running. All right, I figured while I'm here, let's see if we can. Oh God, that smell of that gas is killing me. Whew. Let's see if we can look down the gas tank here and see what we can see. Sorry, Lieutenant Dan. I think that's what I'm going to call this car. I feel like I'm giving this poor thing a colonoscopy. Ew. What, the gas tank or the Titanic? Alright, a little bit of progress here. Went ahead and got the spark plugs in. Got that done. Got those gapped and put in. Guys, check your spark plugs. These things were all over the place. Some of the gap was so tight I couldn't get you can get a gauge in them, and some of them were big. So these auto lights didn't have any cardboard or anything protecting them, so they were all over the place. It's just be sure you check them. We're gonna have to take care of these wires next. Pulled the cap off, everything. I mean, look how good that cap actually looks. And I don't know if you can see in there or not. Better yet, made in USA. So this has probably been changed at some point. I'm sure it's had a tune-up done. But this is most likely better than what I've got new in a box in there. So I'm gonna, these contacts look clean. I'm gonna just leave it on there and you know, go with there and keep the other ones for spare. Same with the rotor. Rotor looks good. We're gonna leave that. Condenser looks good. Points are corroded, so we'll clean the points up and see what we can do to get it started with those. But these wires, I got to make these wires next. That is the next project, and then come back, get those on, and we got to do something with these cables after that. So for spark plug wires, I got these fancy Edelbrock 8.5 millimeter wires, and the reason I got these is not because, you know, we're trying to get the stickers and put them all over the radiator support to add horsepower. It's because they were cheap. So I'm sure everybody's aware by now, Advance Auto Parts is closing some stores, doing their thing. Well, we didn't have any of those near us, but they do some goofy stuff online with stuff for sale randomly sometimes, and every once in a while I'll Google search something and get lucky. They had these spark plug wires, and these are a universal set, got the one boot on each end, like $6.57 or something screwy, like $6 and some change each for a set. And these are, I don't know, $60-$80 set of wires or something like that. They're complete. These are straight boot, this set, and they've got a coil wire also in here. I got 3 sets of these, and also got 3 sets of the 90-degree boot ones also, all for the same price. So literally I got 6 sets of plug wires for like 40 bucks. So the downside is I do have to put the ends on them, which is not a big deal. I've done plenty of those, but take you a little extra time. But the fit's better. You get the fit exactly the way you want them. So we're going to make these wires up, fix this here Predator wig, and get this guy back on and keep moving. Well, after a somewhat lengthy battle, lots of cursing, some words I haven't used in a few years. We've got the plug wires on, got the ends on them. I'm reminded why I hate these things, but I do like how they fit when they're done. I haven't tied them up or anything yet. This is just trying to get it in the driveway. So next up, I'm going to sand the points and work on these battery cables and get another step closer to see if we can get this thing started. There we go. All right, new battery cables in. Went ahead and put the positive on because it was pretty rough, as you can see. It's pretty hammered. I don't know how well that's showing up there, but anyways, you get the point. So let's put the ignition lock cylinder back in and see if it's got power. Here goes nothing. Let's see what happens. Do we blow up? Do we catch on fire? Let's see. Yeah. And there. Let's see. Alright, that's the real thing. Thanks, man. Okay. Hyundai. Sounds like it. There we go. That should be good enough. We can get that off in case he burns to the ground. Ooh, I see a light back there. And another one back there. Okay. Let's try. Oh, I saw some flickering going on in here. Okay, yep. We got some dash lights. Hard to tell what all else, but Okay, they didn't flip open, but that's because all the vacuum is probably disconnected and who knows what is and isn't working, but we got headlights. Okay. Yeah. Oh, wow.
Welcome back to the second half of the Lifestyles Unlimited Real Estate and Radio Show. My name
radio.
is Al Gordon.
Oil light, alright. And people everywhere stop and want to talk to me about this car while I'm working on it out here in the street. It's pretty funny. Oh man, it appears our clock is not working. That's it. I might sell it. For sale. Clock doesn't work. Moment of truth. Let's see. Alright, pardon me the Blair Witch here. Boop, 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 boop. Okay. Oh, it does turn over. It does. That's awesome. Spins over. Sounds like a little bit of a gallop there. Not bad. I'm sure it does after sitting all these years. All right, let's get back and work on fuel now that we know it. So far, it doesn't burn to the ground. And the starter turns over. All right, I think we got some progress. We weren't getting any power. Check the points on this thing. Tried to clean them as you saw. Tried to gap them. Just getting no luck. No luck on that. So let's see if we can get these out of the box. I'll show them to you here. Very professional audio and video here. They look to me to be, compared to the new ones, this pad on this side here is pretty worn and they're still pretty dirty. So I went ahead and just changed them, and now we're getting spark. So I went and changed them and gapped it. Did my best with the feeler gauge to gap them. So we're getting spark. This guy here likes to arc out too if it's not hooked to the coil, so I have to watch that. This boot doesn't cover the stem on the coil quite as good as the factory one did. It's kind of short, so we'll have to watch that. I may have to put a round of tape on it there, something insulated, but something to watch. All right, here we go. Let's see what we got. So it should be good. Let me go ahead and just see if this accelerator pump wants to accelerate or not. Man, I'm getting nothing. Not ideal. Alright, fire in the hole. See what happens. Tried. Okay. Didn't want to do it, but let's try it. I don't know that we're going to get much luck with no accelerator pump. Literally getting nothing. A little more than sucky. Welcome back. Welcome back. Oh. Ah, nuts are too big. No. New strategy here. Let's try this one. Nuts are too big. I hate it when that happens. And this is doing absolutely nothing to get it to start and run, but it does make me feel better. And that's what's important. It's Friday. You know, you want to feel good about it going into the weekend. Should have paid up for the one with the handle. Oh well. Doesn't sound happy. No, it's not. Oh my. Oh, there's the nut. Nice. All right, good morning. Day 2 on trying to get this thing started and running. Went ahead and got some of the junk vacuumed off the top of the engine, and thought it kind of occurred to me last night that maybe our coil is not getting the voltage it needs while cranking. So I kind of went through some stuff, checked power. We're getting 12 volts power to the coil even with just key on, not just under cranking. So I'm not familiar enough with these Fords to know when that was a thing and when it wasn't. I know sometimes these are regulated down to below 12 typically. So I don't know if that's a problem or if that's how it's supposed to be, but that's what we got. So we've got 12 volts, essentially over 10 under cranking. So that seems to be okay. Put a little bit of tape on this boot here. I need to replace this with a longer boot, but for now I just put some tape on it because sometimes she tries to find the path of least resistance and the spark jumps out from under here. So hopefully that keeps it from doing that. Check spark here, we're good. I was poking around and I noticed up here on the wiring that we got some rat chews right here, and apparently these rats like red because these are the only 2 wires they got. This little red with the blue striped wire, trace that all the way around here, and follow along, and she magically comes up here. So this is our trigger wire. It is working with the key, and it's not too bad, but I will fix that at a later point. The big red wire though is the main one that got chewed up. That is power for the blower fan, or at least one of them. It does work, so needs to be fixed, but does work. But I just thought that was worth noting. We're gonna keep going here. I'm gonna check spark at the spark plug wires. As of right now, we seem to have spark. We were getting sparky points. The coil seems to spark. Felt like it was getting hot yesterday. It doesn't feel hot right now. But I didn't crank it just a second. So I don't know. Let's check and see if we're getting spark at the end of the spark plug wires. Good signal, anyways. I know we're getting spark, but just make sure it looks strong. And then we'll get back to the fuel and see if there's something we can do with this carburetor, or if we need to try something different. Little sparkle meter here and see what she says. See if hopefully I can see it. All right, key on. Let's hit it here. Yeah. Yep. Okay. She sparkles. I am gonna kind of poke around here and see how many vacuum leaks we can plug off while we're in the process. I don't know if that'll make a difference or not, but I know it can't hurt. We got one here I plugged off. We've got one here. We've got one here. Yeah, I don't think that's supposed to be like that. This is gonna be fun. Good thing I bought the 50-foot industrial rolls of vacuum line from Rock Auto. We'll end up replacing all this stuff, but for now, let's just try to get all the vacuum leads plugged up we can. Like I said, goal is just to get it to run long enough to make sure it will run, and hopefully we can get this thing rigged up off a fuel jug to pull itself into the garage so I can actually start, get better access to my tools and start working on it. So, well, good morning. As you can see, the LTD has made its way into the garage, but yeah, the reason I don't have any video of that is because we pushed it in. Got a little further into it last night and went ahead and pulled the rocker arms off of it, or the valve covers off, and discovered a bent push rod from one of the valves was sticking. Apparently, as you can see over here, went ahead and pulled these off late last night, and yeah, that's not supposed to be that way. Well, first cylinder looks pretty good. We got no bent push rods that I feel that are spinning anyways. A couple that don't spin. They're up on a lobe. Man, it looks clean in here. Very clean, which again, I more belief it's really a 23,000 mile car, because there's just no carbon buildup, no sludge, no nothing in this thing. It is clean. The only thing I found are a couple of prehistoric cockroaches in here. There's one down there. I think we have a winner here on the left side. I was looking, and we got this push rod here. It's in an unusual angle, and sure enough, she's bent, and so looks like that would be the intake valve on number 7. So yeah, I guess that would be why we had the fireball through the carburetor. I should have checked these valves first before we turned it over and saw if this one's stuck. I'm about to check it now and see if the valve is in fact stuck, if that's what was doing it. Or if it was, maybe this is why it was parked. Very possible. And I got to digging into this thing further, and happened to notice last night when I was pulling things out that I saw this little guy laying in there, and looks like it's the inside of a lifter and a lifter cup just hanging out in there. And once I got the push rods out, I had a big enough hole I could get a magnet down in there, and I was able to fish this thing out. It was actually laying on this side. Well, everything looks fine here. Check down in the bore. All the push rods seem to be fine. They seem to be complete. They all look like they've got their retainers. They've all got their caps on them. And I also noticed some of these push rods have been replaced. And in fact, 2 of them, I don't know if you can tell it, those 2 middle ones, check it with a straight edge, are a little bit longer than the rest of them. And there's a production break on these things in 68, January of 68. You can see there, these 2 guys here in the middle are longer. Faintly can see a part number on them. And there is a production break on these, so check these, and that's what it is, a 30 thousandths longer originally than the later model ones, which this car was produced in June of 84, but you never know when the engine was actually made. It could be a year prior. But this one had the short push rod, so I'm wondering if there's an issue there. And then also this push rod that was bent, this is a little shinier. It's got a little dimple on the end here that to me looks to be like one of these that have been replaced. I didn't see a part number on it, but it looks like it's been one of the ones replaced. It doesn't have this kind of, really oxidation, but just kind of a color to it like these that look to be original do. So looks like to me somebody has been in here before, long story long, and didn't fish out all the lifter parts from a prior issue. So it's very possible that this may have been why it was parked, and it wasn't something I did, or the people I bought this from, when they told me, yeah, it turns over, did they do this? Just crank it with the starter and not hand turn it, mess something up. So I did see a little piece of metal strap laying under the intake that I can't get my magnet to. I checked that with the camera. So I think what I'm going to do is go ahead and pull the intake off this thing and just see what we can see. Pull the lifters out one at a time, make sure there's nothing broken with any of the lifters. We're really get a good look at them. Any debris in there, make sure we got all that out. Just try to do what I can with it. All right, the fun began. Here we go. trick was to get the cherry picker on it, pick it up, and just start trying to wedge a screwdriver in between the head and intake, and I finally got it, and she went. And here we are, top of the engine. Ooh. Oh no, don't fall in the hole. We got a prehistoric cockroach. This guy was doing disco and wearing bell bottoms, I bet, one day. Sorry, buddy. Rest in peace, cockroach. First off, let's count how many push rods look like they've been bent in this car at one point in time. That might be a little wonky. That one, there. That one for sure. And these all look pretty good. So at least 2 of these have pitched push rods. Another one right here. This is the one that was bent, I think. It was on the intake side. Let's see. No. This one was the one that was bent and I put back in the wow. When did that do that? Interesting. This one was not one that was stuck or bent, but it is now. So 1, 2, 5. Several of them. Kind of want to check these lifters out. This is the one that had the bent push rod, and it's all there. Nice and shiny, smooth, no mushroom, a little bit of concave like it's supposed to, so it spins. You know, it looks fine. Let's go through, check all these, see what we get. That is bizarre. It's still pretty free. This might have been it, actually. You guys have to tell me if that looks okay. I can't see a damn thing with this pink eye situation. Alright. Looks good. It's good. What good so far? 2, 3, 4. Alright, oh, 12 more to go. It's good. Yeah, so far all these come right out of the bore easily, which is kind of unusual. That'd be higher mileage stuff when they're tough to get out, so that's what does lead me to believe again. I'm just seeing lots and lots of signs that point to this being a truly low mile, 23,000 mile car. You can look in this valley tray, look on the bottom of the intake, and there is just very little carbon buildup. That's good. Okay, I don't see anything crazy so far. In here and show you this. This is what I wanted to see on the bottom too. Just by chance, was there anything somehow bouncing around in here? I don't see anything. It looks like it's banging around. But you can see there's been one, and I know it was this one was out, or this one, but it didn't hit it. 2, 3, 4. This thing's had at least 4 push rods at some point jump out or bend, which is interesting. It's not very reassuring for the notion that it won't happen again. We'll say that. Looks good. We'll take that. Look okay there. Good. A piece of junk down in that one. More to go. Come on, baby. Keep being good to me. I don't want to get too deep in this deal. Some minor wear. Okay. Anything sharp or anything on the edges. It's good. Last one. Good. None of them look collapsed. They all look like they're up against the keeper. Smooth bottom, no mushrooming, rough edges. These are fine. I don't see anything wrong with any of these. Got to show you guys this here Bluetooth thermostat housing. This is custom. If this is any indication of how the rest of the cooling system looks, it could be in for it, but oh, this is our thermostat housing. Oh my gosh. Wow. We got it torn down. As you can see, the water pump off, fuel pump off. Finally got all the accessories off after a battle. Got a pile of tools and a shelf full of parts up here now, but got it apart. Welcome back, another day here working on the LTD. Didn't really film much yesterday, being Easter. Still dealing with some issues with the pink eye stuff and family in town and all the stuff that goes along with that. But I did get a little bit done yesterday afternoon. Cleaned up the intake manifold, valve covers, got those painted, the new water pump. Got that done, swapped over the inlet. Went and I decided to go ahead and get a Pertronics for this deal instead of running around the points. So we'll see if have better luck with that. And got some push rods, intake manifold gaskets. So we'll go ahead and get this stuff put back on today. The plan is to get the intake, get the valve covers back on it. Yeah, I don't know if you've ever seen anybody do an intake with an engine hoist. This is a first for me. Rock every time. in just a little bit. Okay. Back down we go. Let's move this over here. I don't want anyone to miss out on any of this riveting content. This sucks. Okay. Alright, start already. Oh, come on, you're messing with the paint job. Not cool. Harbor Freight Icon bolt alignment tool. Gonna win again. One more. Okay. Shoot, well, how's this supposed to work? I don't know. Whatever. Just put it on. Alright, now what you want to do is a couple rounds of torque on this thing. Hit up the internet, and the internet told me that 25 and then 35 foot-pounds is a good place to go. So I think we'll go there. Gentle. Oops, too much. Okay. She came out straight, a little bit to the left of number 1, and I got it in there. So let's see if we can get this thing. Come on, that would be good to me. Okay, let's try. Got it. Pretty sure you're supposed to hammer on your distributor to get it in. Torque spec on one of these if you're curious. Or not spec, I should say, order. Alright, somewhat of a moment of truth. We've got the rocker shafts back on, everything torqued down, seemed to go okay. Not seeing anything that looked like it, bent when I put it in, so everything feels good. I'm gonna go ahead and try to turn this crankshaft by hand. Just give it a couple rounds and just to see, make sure that the rocker arms, everything's going to go through full motion, not bind up, not jam up. As you know, worked with this, I guess it'd be intake valve on number 7 quite a bit. Did a beat on it pretty good, I mean, relatively speaking, with the brass hammer. And it feels bouncy now, so I'm thinking we're okay. It feels like the rest of them do. I can't tell any noticeable difference. So I'm going to go ahead and try to spin this thing. Let's hope for the best. Let's spin a couple rounds. And take the tractor for another round here. Okay. That's pretty good. No binding, no grabbing, no tough spots. I'm pretty happy with that. Alright. Okay. Well, there's your seat of the pants compression test. The answer is yes on this side. The left side. Get the thumb in there. Yep. Yep. Got that one blocked off good. There's no reason why this engine shouldn't run. No reason. I'm still going to do a compression check on it just for fun. I just want to see the number, see what we're dealing with. If there's anything in particular I need to look for if we do have a problem when it won't start. I'm confident now, pretty confident now that it'll start once we get it back together. So, go over the list here. 175, 155, 185, 175, 190. And this one was arguably 190. 175, 175, 165. So I will throw out the high, throw out the low, but the 155, 190, we're all, you know, good enough. Good enough for me. Well, welcome back. Another day with the LTD. Today's goal is to get the Pertronics set up on the ignition, get the carburetor, get the fuel system done. Hopefully push this thing out and do some pressure washing later, maybe. I do want to go ahead and try to start it first, make sure it's going to run and there's nothing else that I'm missing catastrophic. I'd kind of like to know that it's going to run and the transmission will go in gear first before I push it out so we can get it back in. That's the goal. I went and picked up some more parts this morning to get the carburetor to where it'll work with the factory linkage. The pink eye is getting better, so I can see a little better today. Get it done so we can get it out, start cleaning up the interior, and plan is to get the carpet and seats pulled out of it so we can get the mildew smell out of it, and of course buff and polish this thing, get the little surface rust specks and spots off of it the best we can, get it looking as good as it's going to look. You know, it's a pretty straight car. It's never going to be perfect, but I think we can get it, you know, get it very respectable. So that's the plan. So let's go ahead and jump right in. Alright, update. Pertronics installed. That was easy, just 2-wire connections. Your negative to your negative on the coil, positive to the positive on the coil. Cut them to match. One screw holds it in. There's a little nub on the bottom of this thing here. Fits in the old point screw hole on the other side, so make sure you get that lined up. That's a must. This magnetic collar slides down over the distributor shaft and put your rotor back on. Gap this between, I don't know if you can see, between the magnetic and the pickup here, you gap this between 10 and 40 thousandths. So did some research last night. Most of you guys probably already know about this thing here, but this is an Edelbrock. Basically it's just an insulator to keep it from boiling the fuel causing vapor lock. And this is like 0.32 thousandths thick. So with this and an Edelbrock carburetor, the air cleaner mounting height is nearly identical to the stock carburetor. So that's great for lining up the air cleaner. Just for all the linkage sake, I'm hoping that is just a little bit better fit, better look. We got our new Pertronics coil in also, so I'm going to keep going. I just painted up the throttle bracket that'll go back here, so we'll clean that pad up, clean some of the paint off of it so that our little ground strap there in the back has something to ground to. And then I'll have an update here in a minute once we get this done, and we're getting closer to get this unit started back up. Well, started up for the first time, I should say. Alright, been working away here for the last couple hours. Let's see, we got the Pertronics all done, all set up, showed you that. Plugs re-gapped, the wires back on. Carburetor, as you can tell, is on with the Edelbrock on. Took me a while, I was messing with the linkage on it, so I think I finally got the holes drilled correctly on the linkage to where I'm getting full travel on the throttle now. That was kind of tight. All the vacuum caps plugged off for right now. No cooling system, we're just going to try to get it to run. No fuel pump. I'm just going to try to run it off the bowl and put some down it and see what happens. Hot wire the coil. So I think we're to a point. Let's maybe see what this engine's got. Yep, squirter's working. Okay. Come on, baby. That's a win. Hell yeah. We'll take it. That's been several days worth of work and rework to get to that point. Just took doing it right. Imagine that. Oh goodness gracious. Here, why don't you work on this knot, Russ? Sure thing, Dad. Put 6 degrees on here and see what happens. That's what the book says. See if she'll hit again. Like that. Ah yes, ran out of fuel. That'll happen when you don't have a fuel pump or fuel system. We're right on the number on 6 there. I think I'm gonna call it for today and just quit while I'm ahead. If that makes sense. You got to take the little wins in life, and this to me is a huge win. You hear it run, you know it will run. It gives me the motivation to keep going. Boy, we got a lot to do still, as you can see. But this car deserves it. What a day. What a week. Well, it hadn't been a whole week, but I think that's what I'm going to call it on this one. We got it running. Next time, we'll do a little more on this thing. We'll get her pushed outside, get it pressure washed. Go ahead and, you know, for the old marketplace miracle here under the hood and get that ready to go. All right. Yep. See you next time.
Thank you so very much for watching part 1 of the 1968 LTD build. Stay tuned for part 2. We'll have that coming out soon. Part 2 will show everything that it took to get the car roadworthy, to get it ready for Hot Rod Power Tour 2025 and get it back on the road for the first time in 35 years. So stay tuned if you want to see more of that. Please like and subscribe. Thank you very much, and I'll see you next time.